Okay guys, today Mrs. Michaels becomes a YouTube star. All right, so we're gonna go over really quick how we would use the average speed formula by looking at a couple of examples. You and I have already talked about this formula at the end of our last investigation when we talked about our cars going down our ramps and how we had to find the average speed for those 5 trials. So we'll look at it today with a couple of other examples. So real quick again, the average speed formula looks a lot like our speed formula that we've already learned about because it's still distance divided by time. The only additions to it this time is now we have a set of parentheses there which says take the total distance divide by the total time. So we know from math class that when we see a set of parentheses, because of, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, we have to do what's in parentheses first before anything else. So what's inside the parentheses says total. So there are going to be cases where we need to first total up or add up our distances and add up some times before we can do the division that we know we need to do. So let's look at a couple of examples showing how we need to do that. Okay, so for our first example here today, we're going to pretend that we ran a race and we had 3 turtles in our race. So we had Turtle Tiggin, Turtle Jeb, and Turtle Andre. So because it was a race, they were all going equal distances of 3 meters. Okay, but where it varied at was with their times it took them to finish. So Tiggin took 10 seconds, Jeb took 20 seconds, and Andre came moseying in at 30 seconds. So we want to find what their average speed was. So we're going to use our average speed formula. Now I would encourage you with the average speed formula that you need to show 2 steps of work this time. I've been letting you get away with just plugging your numbers in and that's it. But in this case, it kind of requires a little bit more. So let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so in our first step, we're going to write our average speed down. Next step is let's show those distances, how we would be plugging those in. So on top, just go over to our table there. We see 3 meters for Tiggin plus 3 meters for Jeb plus 3 meters for Andre. It's going to be divided by their total times. So for Tiggin, it was 10 seconds plus 20 seconds plus 30 seconds. All right, so that's your first step of work. For the second step of work, show me that you did what's in parentheses first. Show me that you totaled these things up. So you can use a calculator if you need to. On top, we have 3 plus 3 plus 3, so that would be 9. So 9 meters divided by. On the bottom, we have 10 plus 20 plus 30. So that sounds like 60 seconds to me. All right, now this starts to look like our old familiar speed formula. So all we need to do as of this point is take that distance and divide by the time on the bottom. I need a calculator for this one. All right, so we're gonna take 9 and divide by 60. And we're gonna get an answer of 0.15. And then here's your units. If you're not sure what they are, leave them in your problem and you always know meters per second. There we go. So that is the average speed for our 3 turtles together. Okay? Let's look at one more. Okay, in our next problem, here we have 3 students that competed against each other in something in, I don't know, gym. All right, so if it was a race, let's say, looks like Caleb here, I think it was Caleb Russin, maybe? Okay, so Caleb must have got a cramp in his calf or something. He didn't make the whole distance, he went 6 meters. Kaylee, she made it to 10 meters, and then Keely made it to 12 meters. And then we can see that their times also will vary this time. Okay, so we want to show the 2 steps of our work. Let's start by plugging the numbers in first. Okay, so average speed equals, on top is where the distances go. So look at your distance column. So we've got Caleb 6 meters plus Kaylee's 10 meters and plus Keely's 12 meters. Okay, all over their times. Okay, so the first time is 5 seconds plus 8 seconds plus 6 seconds. Okay, so that's your first step of work. In the second step of work, let's go ahead and total everything up. So show me you did what's in parentheses first. So looks like if we add this together, we would get what? 18, so 28 meters it looks like on top. Be very embarrassing to make a math mistake in my first YouTube video. All right, on the bottom, total everything up here. So we'd have 11 there, must be 17 seconds. All right, so there's your second step of work. Okay, now you're ready to take your distance and divide by your time like you're used to with your speed formula. So 28 divided by 17, use the old calculator for that one. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna need to round on this problem. So I'm gonna get 1.6, it's actually 47 something, so I'm gonna round it to 5. And again, for your unit, since it's a speed, right there it is. If you leave it in your problem, you already know it's meters per second. And that is our answer. Now, sometimes you might be asked, what is just one of the people's average speed? So what is Caleb's average speed? So if that's what we were asked, you can still use this same formula for it, okay? It's just that his total distance is 6 meters. His total time is 5 seconds. So once you plug that in, there's nothing you need to total. It's already totaled for you. You would simply be taking the 6 divided by the 5 to get his answer. All right, so I hope this helped you a little bit in understanding better how to use the average speed formula.